And we will not allow that. The people of this country will not allow this fringe to rule this country. This is a fringe. This is a fringe. The fringe must be isolated. Don't mind Mr. Kazmi, I'm being direct. This fringe must be isolated.
Against some other people.
This fringe must be isolated,
long list.
picked up, and surgically it must be isolated from our nation's politics. They don't represent our India. Balbir Punj wanted to come in. Balbir Punj, yes please. Balbir Punj.
See, you cannot
I would also like to
look at
comment.
the recent incident of Mr. Owasi making this sort of inflammatory speech in isolation. It has to be seen in a context. And the context is the nature of secular polity in this country. And secular polity, particularly since Mr. Rajiv Gandhi upturned the Supreme Court judgment in Shah Bano case, since then it has meant, secularism has meant in this country, encouragement not to moderate Muslims, encouragement not to modern Muslims, but encouragement to most fundamentalist, radical elements in Muslim society by the so-called self-proclaimed secularists.
Sir, 1 second.
And I can
Mr.
give
Punj.
you any number of examples. And Mr. Madani's name has been mentioned. He was responsible for Coimbatore bomb blast, and the entire Kerala Assembly met on a holiday, so in a special session,
Mr. Punj.
and passed a resolution seeking his
Mr.
release.
Punj.
And,
Mr. Punj.
and you know what happened.
I know, Mr. Punj, but I would like to say this to you. Mr. Punj, 1 minute. You see, I know, Mr. Farooqi, you want to respond to what Mr. Punj is saying. I would just like to humbly submit that in India 2012, Praveen Togadia goes and he says that if Hindus are deprived of puja, we will turn this city into another Ayodhya, etc., etc. I only wonder, where is the law in our country vis-a-vis Akbaruddin Owasi and Praveen Togadia? Why are we so helpless? Why are politicians why are politicians so scared of taking them on?
No, I've got 2 points to make here.
Why is there so much fear?
I treat Mr. Togadia's comments as highly irresponsible.
But what have you said?
But
Mr. Togadia represents the VHP.
Comments are concerned.
Mr. Togadia represents the VHP.
They are a call for a civil war. They are a call for civil war.
Yeah, but one second. When has the RSS said a word about Mr. Togadia? And isn't the VHP inextricably linked to the RSS?
RSS hasn't said a word about Mr. Akbaruddin also.
No, but that doesn't mean anything. No, that doesn't mean anything. But the RSS must speak about Togadia.
Has not commented on Akbaruddin's.
No, the RSS must speak about Togadia because the Vishwa Hindu Parishad is an extension of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. So please, let's not.
It's a cultural organization.
No, that's
not. It doesn't make day-to-day commentary.
No, the same rules apply. Same rules apply.
About Mr. Owasi's
whom are you making?
Then you are justified in asking why RSS did not make a comment on Mr. Togadia's speech. They did not speak at that time, and they have not spoken even now.
Kamal Farooqi.
They don't speak day to day.
Kamal Farooqi. Kamal Farooqi is responding to you, sir.
I have been again and again talking about it. Let Akbaruddin case be a precedent for all the future hate speech. Let the same standard be adopted for all the people. I am not referring any name because I am afraid that it may be taken as if I am trying to defend one person or the other. But I am saying let it be a test case and let the law be framed in such a manner. Let the law be that irrespective whether it is one person or the other, whether it is an RSS or BJP or MIM or anybody.
Sir, I only like to tell you.
My country,
sir, I have a report.
Be treated as a criminal.
Sir, I really admire your zest. But I have a report. I only go by fact. November 2012, Samajwadi Party government in UP is considering withdrawing cases against Varun Gandhi after seeking a report on complaints that he had made speeches. A report is being sought on whether the cases can be withdrawn in public interest. I'm just informing you, sir, so that the positions that you take, you're also aware of what your party is doing, maybe to buy peace. Maybe to sort of do a quiet political compromise, but we'll watch the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh as well very closely on that. I wanted to go back to Dr. Mazhar Hussain. Dr. Mazhar Hussain, you made your point here today. How do we politically isolate these elements? These elements need to be isolated. There needs to be something done sustained manner to isolate them.
I would like to make 3 quick points here. One is that, I have been listening to this debate and to similar debates all over. We tend to go after individuals, and I think that is the place where we are making a mistake. India had the opportunity of 65 years of being a democracy, of maturing into a democracy, but unfortunately, most of our reactions to issues, social issues, are very puerile.
No, what do you mean puerile? No, what do you mean puerile? Asking Akbaruddin Owasi questions is puerile.
Not Akbaruddin
No, what do you mean
Owasi
puerile?
You see,
what is puerile about taking on Akbaruddin Owasi?
You see, we are going,
it may be uncomfortable.
Akbaruddin Owasi.
No, Mr. Mr. Mazhar Hussain, one second. I don't believe in these broad generalizations. On this program, I don't do theories, on historical research. I'm just presenting the fact. There is a person who needs to be punished. His name is Akbaruddin Owasi. Please tell me what is puerile in asking that question? What is childish in asking that question?
I have not said that it is puerile.
No, because I found a very strongly patronizing tone. I found a very strongly patronizing tone, and I object to that patronizing tone on the Newshour. I want to know what is puerile in targeting one person who has made such an observation such as that.
I am not talking about targeting one person.
No, why did you call it puerile? Who was being puerile? Was I being puerile or some other panelist being puerile?
No, not you or me. What I mean to say is, generally as a society.
Why? What is if society is awakened and asks questions of a communalist, is society being puerile? Then should I say that you were also being puerile when you were a signatory to that petition?
Can I answer?
No, why were you signatory to a petition if you find the issue puerile?
Why I have used the word puerile? I'll tell you. You see, we are going.
You should be careful about the words you use.
In every case,
yeah.
You see, what we do is we go after symptoms and not the disease. Let me tell you, I am very pained. I am very pained because what I feel is, until and unless we change the politics of our country from the divisive politics, from identity politics to ideology politics, development politics, these type of elements will come up in different gaps, in different ways, at different times, and they are going to destroy our society.
But Mr. Mazhar,
I would like to say
but Mr. Mazhar, the point is, the disease is competitive communalism, and whether it is Madni or whether it is Akbaruddin Owaisi, they are the symptoms. I mean, that's the fact. Isn't that the real issue? We are going to... No, Swapan Dasgupta, I want to come back. Swapan Dasgupta, we are going to have to find a solution for this, because otherwise it is spreading. And you are aware that it's spreading from Assam to Andhra Pradesh, and especially in states like Kerala. It is spreading very fast.
Yeah, look, it's spreading very fast. And you see, Arnav, earlier in the program, you had expressed the hope that let us relegate such people to the fringes of the political system. Now, that's a very nice sentiment. I agree with the sentiment. But let's also look at the fact. The fact is that Asaduddin Owaisi, the elder brother and the head of the MIM in Andhra Pradesh and in the rest of India, today emerged as the main so-called Muslim spokesman for Assam. You witnessed that debate yourself.
Yeah, but he was extremely divisive in his observations.
Rather than being confined to Hyderabad,
and he knew very little about the ground situation.
And rather than being confined to Hyderabad, rather than being confined to one insignificant assembly constituency, today what we see is that the influence of such people is actually growing in a very remarkable way. And that, to my mind, is very, very alarming. So I would agree when there has been a suggestion that let us make the Akbaruddin Owaisi case into a test case. And regardless of whether it has to be a Hindu extremist, a Muslim extremist, or whatever extremist there can be, if we decide that there are bounds, there are certain limitations of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. There are limitations of what is tolerant, what we can tolerate, and what we will not countenance. I think then the real lesson from this very, very provocative speech in Adilabad, we would have digested. But unfortunately, things are not going in that thing, and that's really the cause for lamentation. The fact is that the MIM is spreading its tentacles, its influence.
And not just
all
the
over
MIM.
the country. Not organizationally, but in terms of influence.
That's not just, it's a fact here today. I mean, you've hit the nail on
So
the number of communal...
We are not being able to confine them to the fringes.
Well, I think it's a responsibility of the national parties as well. Do the national parties want to do business?
Absolutely. I agree with
deals, cut deals with these groups. And then, you know, you have to realize what kind of a federal structure we'll come up with if communal parties try to be, you know, try to isolate people in states, polarize people. It's happening in Hyderabad, it's happening in Assam, it's happening in Kerala. It is spread into parts of Maharashtra. You are aware of what is happening on the ground, and what is happening is not good. I put that question here today. My last question is to Zafrul Islam Khan. Khan Saab, can you tell me, is it possible to join hands? You know, I know you have differences, for example, with Swapan Das Gupta and Balbir Punjan. I respect the differences we have. But can we join hands to make sure these ultra-fringe groups are pushed into the margins and slowly become less and less relevant in this country? They should be scared of the nation, not the other way around.
Yes, we can. If we look at the picture, at the whole picture, not in isolation, not just Akbaruddin, we must look at all the communal divide which has been put into action by the BJP when it discovered Ram Mandir issue, and after that we have Hindutva ruling the roost. You have got Kandhamal, you have got Gujarat 2002, you have got the polarization of the society on the basis of religion. So you have got to look at the issue from the whole picture, not just at Akbaruddin only. Akbaruddin is confined to a small area in Hyderabad, while the BJP, VHP, Bajrang Dal is trying to rule the country again. So there is a big difference between the two. Actually, the Muslim communalism is feeding on the majority communities.
Well, you know, this
communalism. You have to contain the majority first, and then the minority which is afraid will get contained.
No, I'll tell you one thing, sir. It is not. I mean, a small point of disagreement. You're all very experienced people, and I'm not. It's not a majority-minority issue. It's a hate issue. It doesn't matter which community the person who's spreading the hate comes from, and I really think these people are 100% out of sync with the reality of our country. I know that we will overcome this. Akbaruddin Owasi is not a representative of the people of Hyderabad, leave alone Andhra, just like that man, what's his name, Gilani, is not a representative of the people of Kashmir. He may think so, but then that's his misgiving. Gentlemen, thank you very much for that debate. Thank you very much indeed.